Welcome to our channel. We're uncovering some of the most expensive US 1-dime coins ever sold. From rare mint errors to special editions, these coins have become true treasures for collectors. Stick around to find out how a simple dime can fetch thousands, or even millions, at auction. Let's start with a coin that you might have seen countless times but probably never thought much about, unless, of course, you're a collector. Today, we're diving into the story of the 1967 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark, a coin that may look simple at first glance but hides a fascinating history, an intricate design, and, to many collectors, a jaw-dropping value. The year 1967 was an interesting one in American history. The country was in the midst of the turbulent 1960s, dealing with political changes, the civil rights movement, and the Vietnam War. But while these historical events were shaping the country, the U.S. Mint was quietly at work producing coins that would later go on to become valuable collectibles. And among these, the 1967 Roosevelt dime stands out for a specific reason: its missing mint mark. Now, before we dive into why that's so important, let's take a step back and talk about the Roosevelt dime itself. This coin was first introduced in 1946, just after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, as a tribute to the late president. Roosevelt, of course, was instrumental in leading the country through the Great Depression and World War II, and his image on the dime has been an enduring symbol of American leadership and strength. The design of the Roosevelt dime was the work of artist John R. Sinek, who had already made his mark on U.S. coinage by designing the half-dollar featuring Franklin D. Roosevelt's portrait. Sinek's design for the dime features a portrait of Roosevelt facing left, with the inscriptions, "Liberty," and, "In God We Trust," on the obverse. The reverse of the coin displays a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbolizing freedom, peace, and strength, respectively. It's a simple yet powerful design that has stood the test of time. But in 1967, something curious happened. The U.S. Mint, which had previously included mint marks on most coins to indicate where they were produced, decided to omit the mint mark from certain coins that year. Mint marks are typically found on the obverse, near the date, and indicate whether the coin was struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco Mint. However, the 1967 Roosevelt dime was one of the few coins from that year that did not carry any mint mark at all. So, why did the mint leave the mint mark off the 1967 dimes? The story behind this is a bit of a mystery, but the most likely explanation is that the U.S. Mint had an overproduction of dimes that year. At the time, the Mint was trying to meet the demand for coins, and it simply ran out of space on the dies to include the mint mark. The decision to omit it was likely made to streamline production, and this resulted in a small batch of 1967 dimes with no mint mark at all. At first, this omission didn't seem like a big deal. After all, the 1967 Roosevelt dime was still a dime, a coin that circulated regularly and was worth just 10 cents. But as time passed, collectors began to notice the absence of the mint mark on some 1967 dimes, and the coin soon gained attention for its rarity. Collectors quickly recognized that this seemingly minor detail made the 1967 no mint mark dime an anomaly, a unique variation of the regular 1967 coin. The excitement surrounding the 1967 Roosevelt dime grew as the coin began to be identified as a variety. In the world of numismatics, a variety refers to a coin that has a small but significant difference in its design or minting process compared to the regular issue of the same year. And in this case, the 1967 no mint mark dime was one of those rare varieties that piqued the interest of collectors and coin enthusiasts. What makes the 1967 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark even more appealing is that it's still considered an error coin by some. Error coins are highly coveted in the numismatic community because they're the result of a mistake during the minting process. In this case, the omission of the mint mark was likely not intentional, making the coin all the more intriguing. However, despite being an error, the 1967 no mint mark dime is still considered to be a legitimate coin that was struck by the U.S. Mint. So, how does this coin stack up in terms of value? Well, its value skyrocketed when a 1967 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark, in exceptional condition, was sold at auction for an incredible $128,000. Yes, you heard that right. A dime worth only 10 cents, when produced, turned into a true collectible treasure, fetching a price that few could have imagined when it was first struck. This incredible value shows just how much collectors are willing to pay for a coin with such a rare and unique characteristic. While the vast majority of 1967 dimes are worth only a few cents, the no-mint mark variety has become one of the most sought-after coins in the numismatic world. It's a perfect example of how a seemingly insignificant detail, like the absence of a mint mark, can transform an ordinary coin into a highly valuable collectible. For collectors, the 1967 Roosevelt no-mint mark dime represents more than just a coin. It's a piece of history, a tangible reminder of how a small mistake during the minting process can create something incredibly rare and valuable. For those lucky enough to own one of these coins in top condition, it's a treasure that will continue to appreciate in value for years to come. So, next time you're looking through your change or going through your coin collection, keep an eye out for the 1967 Roosevelt dime. It may look just like any other dime, but that missing mint mark could turn it into a hidden gem worth far more than its face value. The next rare coin we're talking about today is one that you may have overlooked in your pocket change, but it's one that has been turning heads in the numismatic world. Yes, we're diving into the 1999 USA 1 dime D coin, a piece of American history that packs a lot more value than you'd expect. At first glance, the 1999 Roosevelt dime might seem like just another dime. After all, it was designed back in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and it's been a staple of U.S. coinage ever since. With its simple yet iconic design, it features Roosevelt's portrait on the front, surrounded by the words, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," and on the reverse, a torch, olive branch, and oak branch symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? But here's the thing, this particular dime from 1999 isn't just another dime. It's the D mint mark version, produced at the Denver Mint, and it has attracted a lot of attention from collectors and coin enthusiasts. The 1999 dime isn't particularly rare in terms of how many were minted that year, but there's a twist, a certain set of conditions have made this dime a must-have for collectors. Let's talk about mint marks for a second. The D mint mark on this coin means that it was struck in Denver, which is one of the main facilities where U.S. coins are made. Mint marks have always been an important part of the coin collecting world, as they tell you exactly where a coin was produced. While most people don't give mint marks a second thought, for coin collectors, it's a big deal. Coins with mint marks, or sometimes the lack of them, can become highly sought after when they feature unusual characteristics, errors, or even just specific years. Now, the 1999 D dime became a point of interest for collectors not because of an error or major flaw, but due to a few specific factors that raised its profile. In the late 90s, the U.S. Mint was still operating in a fast-paced environment, and while production was steady, the world of coin collecting was evolving quickly. Collectors began to focus on finding coins from specific years and mints that stood out, either for being particularly scarce or for their rarity in pristine, uncirculated condition. That's where this 1999 D dime comes into play. It's not a rare coin by itself, after all, millions were minted that year. But the key here is the condition. Like with many coins, the better the condition, the higher the value. The 1999 D dime in pristine, uncirculated condition has become a treasure for collectors, as it's a coin that can't be easily replaced or found in such good shape in circulation. If you happen to stumble upon one of these coins in exceptional condition, you're sitting on a collectible that's far more valuable than its face value. But let's take a moment to break down what makes this coin stand out. The 1999 D dime is part of the broader category of modern Roosevelt dimes. While it's not a rare, early mint coin like some of the first Roosevelt dimes from the late 40s, it's part of a transitional period in U.S. coinage that is becoming increasingly popular among collectors. Coin collectors are drawn to these modern coins because of the unique aspects of their production and the historical context they represent. But why, you might wonder, are collectors so fixated on the 1999 D dime, specifically? The fact is, it's not necessarily the year that's important, but the coin's condition and the growing interest in the coin collecting market over time. As more collectors begin to understand the nuances of the coins they collect, coins like the 1999 dime have become valuable not just because of the year or mint mark but because of the way they fit into the larger trends in US numismatics. And here's where things get exciting. Even though most people wouldn't think twice about a dime they receive in change, this 1999 dime has become a valuable collector's item, with one in near-perfect condition recently selling for a staggering $48,000. Yes, that's right, a dime that originally had a face value of just 10 cents has fetched a price of $48,000 at auction. This amazing value is a testament to how the world of coin collecting works. What might seem like a common coin, something you could easily find in circulation, can turn into a rare treasure, thanks to its condition, rarity, and the specific market for collectible coins. And for those who knew what to look for, this 1999 dime became a ticket to a significant return on investment. It's not just about having the coin itself, it's about owning a piece of American history that resonates with collectors. Every coin has a story, and the 1999 dime is no exception. Whether it's because of its mint mark or its pristine quality, this dime is a reminder of how the smallest details can have the biggest impact on the value of a coin. So, what does this mean for you? Well, if you come across a 1999 dime in your own collection or find one in your change, don't just toss it aside. If it's in excellent condition, it could be worth much more than you think. You never know, you might have a hidden gem in your hands. And with coins like these, the value doesn't just stay the same, it keeps growing. To wrap it up, remember that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. A dime worth just 10 cents could turn into a valuable collector's item worth $48,000, simply because of its rarity and condition. So keep an eye on those coins in your collection and stay curious. Now, moving on to another dime, this time from 2001. At first glance, it might seem like just another dime that you've probably come across in your pocket change, but this particular coin has a story to tell. We're talking about the 2001 Roosevelt dime, which, despite being a regular issue coin, has become a collector's favorite and a symbol of how seemingly common coins can become highly valuable treasures. For those unfamiliar with the design, the Roosevelt dime has been a mainstay in American currency since 1946, following President Franklin D. Roosevelt's passing. It was designed by John R. Sinek, with Roosevelt's portrait gracing the obverse side of the coin. Surrounding the image are the words, "Liberty," and, "In God We Trust," and the year of minting is prominently displayed as well. On the reverse, you see the familiar symbols, a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. These elements represent liberty, peace, and strength, serving as a fitting tribute to Roosevelt's legacy and the nation's values. But while the coin itself may seem straightforward, the 2001 Roosevelt dime, particularly the one minted at the Denver Mint, holds a special place in the world of coin collecting. And you're about to find out why. Let's dive a little deeper into the specifics of the mint mark. The mint mark you see on the 2001 dime indicates that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the United States' major coin production facilities. The mint mark is a small detail, but in the world of coin collecting, it's a crucial one. The Denver Mint is renowned for producing high-quality coins, and for collectors, this mint mark often signals a coin that is in excellent condition. While the 2001 Roosevelt dime is not an especially rare coin, what makes it stand out in the collector's world is the condition in which it's found. The value of a coin can vary dramatically depending on its quality, and this is where the 2001 dime begins to show its appeal. When you come across a 2001 dime in pristine, uncirculated condition, it's no longer just pocket change, it has the potential to be something much more valuable. Now, don't be mistaken, most of these coins you'll find in circulation will be worn and show the typical signs of age. But the real excitement for collectors lies in finding one of these dimes in mint condition, either from a bankroll or as part of a well-kept collection. This makes the 2001 Roosevelt dime in mint condition a rare and highly desirable find. In the world of numismatics, it's all about supply and demand. Yes, millions of these dimes were minted, but not all of them survived in great condition. Coins that have been well preserved and kept away from the ravages of everyday circulation are considered valuable because they're harder to find. And for those of you who are collectors or just getting into the hobby, it's crucial to understand that condition is often just as important, if not more so, than rarity when it comes to determining a coin's value. So, how did the 2001 Roosevelt dime end up as a high-value collectible? It's all about the specific market that has grown for certain years of Roosevelt dimes. Over time, collectors began to focus on the need for high-quality, uncirculated examples of these coins, particularly from specific years and mint marks. The 2001 dime, especially the D mint mark variety, is one of those coins that's been embraced by collectors for its condition and the interest in having a complete collection of Roosevelt dimes from each year. Coin collecting, as an investment, has only grown in popularity in recent decades, and coins like the 2001 Roosevelt D dime have seen their value rise significantly. What might have seemed like just another dime 20 years ago has become a highly sought-after piece today. And now, the big reveal, the 2001 Roosevelt D dime, in pristine, uncirculated condition, can carry a remarkable coin value of $40,000. That's right, $40,000 for a dime that, in its original state, was worth just 10 cents. This stunning increase in value is a testament to the power of condition, rarity, and the way coin collecting has evolved over the years. While millions of 2001 dimes were minted, the number of perfect examples in circulation today is much smaller, and this scarcity is what drives the value up. When you think about it, it's fascinating how such a small coin, once overlooked and tossed into your pocket without a second thought, can become a highly valuable collector's item. The 2001 Roosevelt dime proves that with the right combination of factors, mint mark, condition, and collector demand, a seemingly ordinary coin can skyrocket in value. But how do you know if you've got one of these rare gems in your collection or in your pocket? It all comes down to examining the coin for signs of wear and tear. A well-worn dime, with faded details or noticeable scratches, won't fetch nearly as much as a pristine, uncirculated one. If you're serious about coin collecting, it's a good idea to have your coins graded by a professional service, as they can give you an accurate assessment of their condition and potential value. If you happen to find a 2001 Roosevelt dime in exceptional condition, consider it a hidden treasure. The market for coins like this one is strong, and it's likely to continue growing in the future as collectors continue to seek out rare and high-quality examples of U.S. coinage. Now, let's move on to another dime, this time from 2014. While this might not be a coin that everyone immediately recognizes as rare, it holds a special place in the hearts of collectors due to its uniqueness and the distinct features that set it apart from other dimes in the Roosevelt series. You may think of the dime as just another piece of pocket change, but for coin enthusiasts, this particular version has a fascinating story to tell. The Roosevelt dime has been in circulation since 1946, when it was first introduced to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt following his death. Designed by John R. Sinek, the coin's obverse features a profile of Roosevelt, and around it, you'll see the words, Liberty and, In God We Trust, along with the year of minting. On the reverse side, the symbols of liberty are present, a torch, olive branch, and oak branch. These iconic elements have made the Roosevelt dime one of the most recognized coins in American currency. Now, the 2014 Roosevelt dime comes with an interesting twist. It's the P mint-marked version. As many of you know, the mint mark on a coin tells you where it was produced. In this case, the P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, which is the oldest and one of the most significant minting facilities in the United States. However, you might be surprised to learn that the Philadelphia Mint typically doesn't put mint marks on coins like dimes, quarters, and half dollars. This is what makes the 2014 P dime so intriguing. You see, in 2014, the U.S. Mint decided to mint a limited number of dimes with the P mint mark to commemorate the 225th anniversary of the founding of the Philadelphia Mint. It was a rare event, as Philadelphia's mint mark had not been placed on dimes since 1945. This marked a significant historical moment in U.S. coinage, and the release of this special 2014 P dime immediately caught the attention of coin collectors across the country. But what really drives the value of this dime is its rarity and the timing of its production. The 2014 P dime was produced in much smaller quantities compared to other dimes, which means that there are fewer of these coins in circulation today. Even though the 2014 dime was struck in millions, finding one in uncirculated condition is much harder than you might think. The minting process left many of these coins with scratches, marks, and other imperfections, which makes finding a flawless, pristine version a real challenge. The demand for coins like the 2014 dime is growing rapidly as collectors look to complete their Roosevelt dime series with these rare and special pieces. Coin collectors, both seasoned and new, recognize the historical importance of this coin, and that's what has contributed to its increasing value in the marketplace. What makes the 2014 dime especially significant is not only the fact that it was minted at Philadelphia but also that it was made in celebration of the Philadelphia Mint's anniversary. That anniversary connection adds historical weight, making this coin not just a valuable piece of currency, but a commemorative item steeped in meaning for the numismatic community. Now, we can't forget about the minting details. In total, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 100 million of these 2014 dimes, but only a small percentage of them were kept in mint condition. For collectors, the key to value is finding a coin in as close to perfect condition as possible. Coins with sharp, clear details, minimal wear, and no discoloration are far more valuable than those that have been handled and spent in circulation. And when it comes to the 2014 dime, the uncirculated versions, particularly those without any signs of wear, are the real treasures. You might be wondering, why is this coin so valuable? Well, the answer lies in the rarity of finding these uncirculated coins. With millions of these dimes minted, the problem is that most of them were used for regular transactions and circulated widely. So, finding one of these coins in pristine, uncirculated condition is not only rare, but it's also in demand by collectors looking for that perfect addition to their collection. Over the years, the value of the 2014 dime has steadily increased, and it's not just because of the mint mark or the historical significance. It's also because of the rising interest in collecting coins that have a unique story behind them. For example, a coin like this one doesn't just represent the year it was minted, but it also ties back to a key moment in U.S. history, the 225th anniversary of the Philadelphia Mint. Collectors love finding these rare, historical connections in their coins, and as more people recognize the significance of the 2014 dime, its value continues to grow. So, what's the value of a 2014 Roosevelt dime in top-notch condition? If you're holding a pristine version of this dime, you might be in for quite a surprise. The current coin value of the 2014 Roosevelt dime is $33,000. That's right, $33,000 for a dime that, at first glance, seems like just another coin you might come across in your spare change. It's a fantastic example of how rarity, condition, and historical context can combine to turn an otherwise ordinary coin into something extraordinary. This serves as a reminder to keep an eye on your pocket change, as you never know when you might come across a rare, high-value coin like the 2014 Roosevelt dime. If you're a collector, this is a coin that's definitely worth adding to your collection. And even if you're new to the hobby, it's a great example of how even modern coins can have surprising value and significance.